Okay, let's look at a sample keyword here and see how I would go about determining if it was too competitive for me or not. So the keyword that I've chosen is best spinning rods under $100. So if we look at the results here, we've got obviously what appears to be a forum first, a magazine, what looks like it's probably an affiliate site, which I can tell just because it has best in the domain. Same thing for this one, it also has best in the domain, so it's probably an affiliate site. Field and Stream, this is a major magazine here in the US. Scout.com is not a site that I'm familiar with before doing this query. Flannel Fisherman, just based on the under $100, I can probably assume that this is an affiliate site. GetFishingEquipment.com, again, based on the domain, I can just assume that this is an affiliate site. We have another forum here, obviously, which you can tell from the 11 posts, 10 authors right here. And the last one here looks like it's probably also an affiliate site with the best spinning rods under $100. So what I did before starting this video is I looked at each of these 10 sites to determine if they were affiliate sites or if they were not. So then I copied those 10 URLs into my spreadsheet, like I mentioned. And as you can see here in column B, I compiled what type of site each one was. The only one I'm still not really sure about is the Scout.com, just because I don't really know anything about fishing. But from what I could tell, it was probably an authority brand. But as you can see, we have a lot of good opportunities for this query, which I've highlighted in yellow. You'll see line 5 there, Field and Stream. It was actually a Q&A page. I'm not really counting that as a good opportunity though, simply because Field and Stream is a major brand here. It's a major magazine. So looking at this, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 opportunity spots for this query on page 1. So 70% of page 1 is open up for us, which is awesome. So now, if I was actually, really wanting to go after this keyword for a site, I would pull out all of the affiliate sites to do my deep analysis. And I've already done that right here for you guys. So we ended up with only 5 affiliate sites. And I have it broken down by word count for the page, keyword density for that page, type of content on the page, what I call the content wow factor, which is basically just whether or not the content is really amazing or not. The RD column is for referring domains to the root domain. And then the link types for the type of backlinks that the root domain has. As I mentioned in the previous video, the way that I get the word count and the density is using the internetmarketingninjas.com SEO compare tool. As you can see, I've already input that into the tool here. It does up to 5 URLs at a time. And it makes it super easy for you to get kind of an overview of the sites. So right here we can see the number of words on the page. Gives us a nice little breakdown. We should go a little further. We can see the title for each page. We can see that everyone, for the most part, is optimizing for the under $100, with the exception of the first result here. We can see that the first result does not have a meta description, but the others seem to, again, be optimizing for the under $100. Meta keywords isn't really something I care about, so I'll just skip that. Then this right here, I really like this section because it shows us what all of their headings, what they're targeting. With the exception here of this last one, I'm not sure why when I ran this tool it didn't really return what it was supposed to. I inspected the page myself, and I can tell you that they are targeting the keywords. It doesn't have H1 login, H1 lost password on the actual site. For some reason though, instead of using H2s, they were using H3s. So that's just an interesting thing for me to note if I was targeting this keyword. But we can see under $100, under $100, under $100. I mean, everyone's targeting it, so everyone is optimized for the keyword. And then down here is the keyword density section of the page of the results. So it separates it by single word and 2-word phrase. I usually only really look at the single word density because it tends to be the highest number anyway. And your highest density is always going to be the first one that it lists. So we can see that these are all around 3%. And then I never really use the linking structure of the page section, or actually I don't think I use the rest of this at all. No, I don't. So going back to my spreadsheet here. So as you can see, I have my word count column and my keyword density column. I've pulled all that information direct from the Internet Marketing Ninjas tool. Content type here, I actually went and looked at each page myself, read through it, so that I could compile this list. What's interesting to note here, this particular keyword, is that we only had one site that was going after more unique content on the page. So this guy had a YouTube video that another site had created. He had created special content boxes with Thrive Content Builder. His tables were a little different, and he had a stock photo at the top. As you can see, most of these people seem to kind of do the bare minimum here. However, when I was reading through the content, only the Kayak Fisher site was the one that had really great content that was a good read. Everyone else was pretty generic. What I find most interesting about this is that Kayak Fisher seems to have the least number of links and the fewest number of link types, yet the content was the best. So that kind of tells me something about how Google is ranking sites in this for this particular topic right now. As you can see, the top 2 ranking sites here had a little bit of everything for their backlink profile. But then notice here the 3rd ranking affiliate site was primarily PBNs and guest posts. And this site had overall the most referring domains, yet it wasn't ranked at the top of the page. Which is really interesting to me, especially since they had taken more time for the actual presentation of the content. So that just tells me that maybe they have some not so great domains, maybe in some bad neighborhoods or something that are kind of dragging them down a little bit. So basically, what I would do with this information now is I kind of have an overview of what it takes for me to rank for the particular keyword on page 1. With the exception of Kayak Fisher, I can see that I'm going to need somewhere around 45 referring domains on average. Using Kayak Fisher here, I could assume that if I could get really well-written content and really relevant links, because when I looked at their guest posts, they were on highly relevant sites, then I know I could do it for fewer referring domains. So that would be something that I would keep in mind. However, that content cost would be higher for me than something generic like the other ranking sites. So that would kind of be like, what would the ROI be for this for me? I would have to see, to determine if that would be worth it for me, what's the average price of these spinning rods? And then I would look at Google Trends and say, how long, how many months of the year can I expect to sell these? And that would kind of tell me, is it really worth it for me to spend more on better content or just go generic? And then I can look over here at the average words on the page. It looks like maybe 1,500 would be a good target for me to hit for my word count. And if the writing is natural, I'm probably going to fall either within or under the average density. And obviously, I don't really have to go above and beyond with my presentation of my content because most of this is pretty basic. So if I was creating a fishing site or if I already had one and I wanted to target this, I think it would be pretty easy to rank just based on the fact that we had, 70% of the, I think, page 1 open? Yeah, so 70% of page 1 is open for us. I can do generic content. I can do a generic presentation of the content, and I only need about 1,500 words. And clearly I could just use blog comments, Web 2.0s, and other really generic links to get to the top of page 1. So I would definitely go for this. And that's how I would evaluate this particular keyword. And that's actually how I do it for all of my sites.